Hey folks, and welcome back to the Nick Zammeti channel. I'll be your host again, mainly because I'm the only one here. So here's something crazy for you. I am going to attempt, to make the biggest resin vase or bowl you've ever seen. Now this type of concept has been done before on a smaller scale, although I have never done this. So first of all, we are going to do a little test run to see how this actually is going to work on a larger scale. And for this project, we are going to need a load of resin. So I'm excited to announce to you that today's video is actually sponsored by Entropy Resins. Happy days, Entropy. The idea is we have lots of fun. We splash a load of resin all over the floor. And I mean proper splashing. We mix in some colours and everything, get it looking all wishy and washy, and we make it so big that we can't even get it out the door. Well, that's the plan anyway. My plans never seem to work out. Right, folks, so this is just a mini test run for what we're going to be doing. So I just need to kind of understand if this is going to work first initially on a smaller scale. I bought this sticky plastic flooring kind of like tape and I'm kind of planning on putting it on here. So I'm going to stick this down, well, not stick it down, but put it down. And the idea is that it's not going to stick to this, but we will be able to put this on the floor when we do it a bit later on. Right, there we go, nothing too special. That's all I want for the minute. It's just a plastic backing. Right, knocked up a little smidge of Entropy resins. Now, remember folks, this is all about the Entropy. This stuff is absolutely amazing, and I'm really chuffed that this video is sponsored by Entropy because this is all Entropy. So let's see if this little experiment works on a smaller scale. Right, sorry about this folks, the camera was switched off while I was putting in this these colours, so apologise for that, but basically all I'm doing is I'm just mixing in some colours, some randomness. Okay folks, so this is my little test run. It's a quick run before we get on to the bigger picture on this project. Now I know that these types of projects have been done before and I've seen a couple of them on the internet. So I know that this type of thing works, but the question is, does it work on a massive scale? I mean, I'm talking really big. This could be an absolute disaster or it could be absolutely amazing. So that looks pretty cool at the moment. So we'll leave that for say 24 hours. We'll come back and see where we stand with it. The idea with this is this material, I wanted to see if I can peel this off. And then if it does, we can use it on a larger scale. So I'll see you in the morning.
This fella and a giraffe walk into a bar. Giraffe goes to sleep on the floor. Barman says, "Oi, what's that lying there?" Fella says, "It's not a lion, it's a giraffe."
Okay folks, it's been 2 days and we need to check this to see that if it hasn't cured completely, because we don't want it to cure completely. Can cure completely?
Am I dreaming?
Cure completely. So here we go, everyone. So it's, now obviously I came in yesterday to see and it wasn't kind of like ready at all. It's quite cold here in the UK, so I thought I'd leave it another day. And I think, see, that's where it's not quite cured, but it's cured enough. And it's coming off of this plastic sheet really, really nicely as well. So that's what we wanted to make sure of as well. So now I know that's going to come off of there. What we need to do is we need to drape it. Now I'm going to drape this over this pot. Should come off of that, but just in case, I'm going to put some of this over it anyway. Just in case it doesn't. There we go, as long as it's stuck over it. Right, so the idea now, look at that. Woohoo! So what we're going to do now, so we're just going to, there we go, look at that. It's already draping over. So what we want it to do is we want it to form some kind of shape, but we might manipulate it a little bit whilst we've got the chance. We don't want it to crack, we just want it to fall over it. Okay folks, we're going to leave that now for another couple of days and hopefully it will just keep forming itself over this pot and become what it becomes. So again, this is just the small experiment we're doing to get ready for the big one. So if that is looking good in a couple of days time folks, we'll move on to the big bad boy.
2 days later.
Right! So this has been left for another 2 days. Let's check it out. Well, it feels like it's a bit more solid now. Oh, and it's nicely... Oh, look at this. Yes! Woohoo! Look at this, baby. Now that is what I call funky.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Now the question here is, folks, can we do this on a much larger scale? That's the whole point of this whole project, folks, because we know that people have done this before like this, but have they done it extra gigantic size? No. Now I'm so glad that this video is sponsored by Entropy Resins because we're going to be using a lot of resin, as you can already see. So I just want to take a couple of moments to tell you how cool this stuff really is. Did you know that in 2021, customers that bought Entropy Resins products helped save 194 million smartphone charges worth of energy being used during their manufacturing process? Because of Entropy Resin's ethos of bio-based, ethically sourced raw materials, they make sure less petroleum-based materials are used and more locally based European alternatives to reduce their carbon footprint in the manufacturing of Entropy Resin products. All Entropy Resin products are designed with sustainability and bio-credential as the key factors. They basically formulate their epoxy product with renewable resources to the highest extent possible, all of the time. The Entropy Resins range includes laminating, clear casting, and compression molding epoxies, all designed for strength and ease of use. As all of you folks know, I use the clear casting range all the time, switching between the fast and the slow hardeners, depending on what craziness I knock up. And also what I love about using this product as well, this epoxy from Entropy Resins, is that they donate 1% of the sales to environmental causes worldwide. Entropy Resins aren't just made better, they're made responsibly. So their customers can be sure that they are reducing the environmental impact of their products, and without, as you know, compromising on performance. If you can dream it, Entropy Resins can help you achieve it. If you want to try this stuff, folks, check out the link below and grab yourself a tub. It's amazing stuff to work with, as you're just about to find out even more. And don't forget, folks, if you're a member of Makers Central, you'll get a cheeky little discount, which will be cheaper than you can find anywhere on the internet. Happy days. Cheers, Entropy. So the idea now is we whip up some Entropy Resins slow. So we're going to use quite a lot of resin, I think, on this. Even though it's sort of flat, I still think we're going to need quite a chunk. So let's whip up some slow, which means we can use quite a bit. Then we need to add in some really cool patterns. This is going to be quite fun, actually. Probably pretty messy. Now I've got this massive, absolutely ginormous chunk of resin for this experiment. Obviously sponsored by Entropy Resins themselves. So cheers, Entropy. Let's hope this one works. So here's the slow hardener, folks. This is what we're going to be using for this project. So the little Entropy pot is not going to cut the mustard with this big project. So stepping in for him is Betsy. Okay, folks, Betsy is only half full, but I think that's going to be enough. I'm not too sure until I start pouring it all over the place, but let's just see, because obviously, I don't know, it depends how big we want this, but let's see how far this goes. Right, I've actually knocked up a bit more because I just want to push this to the limit. You can't really see it at the moment because I haven't added any colour, so it just looks like it's all see-through. But I'll see if I can show you. So it's kind of come up to here, and it's all up there, all the way around there, look. It's all the way over there and there. So it's getting bigger, it's spreading out. So, but I'm just going to add a little bit more over here and a bit more here. And just see how far I can really push this to try and make this as big as possible. Okay, folks, check this out. So it looks like a blob of mess at the moment, but that's what it's supposed to look like. And the question is this going to work on such a large scale? Now, I have made a few rookie mistakes. Well, one. What I haven't done is I've failed to put this sheeting down without any creases in it. And that's what I should have done. I should have done this without creases. And unfortunately, the resin obviously isn't sticking to those bits, and the creases are sticking out. So potentially when we lift this up, it might all fall apart. I don't know. Or it could create some really cool kind of holes and slits inside the piece. I mean, it's pretty big. I mean, it goes all the way up there and it's a really strange shape. I'm just wondering how this is going to really look when it's set and we bring it up, we pick it up. You can see here where I've got some creases in there, and obviously the resin might well sit around it and it might be okay, or it might just pop right through it, but then that still might look okay because it just might be cool because it might have a few little holes and it might look quite nice. Now obviously, as you can see, this, as it sets now, it's going to look completely different in a day or two, because all the colours will just run all over the place and keep running until it really sort of starts to set. Now, because this is a slow set, this is going to take a good few days for it to even get to a point where we can even touch it. So I reckon, yeah, we'd have to come in and check it every day, but I reckon, I don't know, it's still quite cold out, maybe 3-4 days, maybe even 5 days before we can even move this. So it's a long process, but I think that looks pretty awesome, folks. I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll just have to do it again. Know what I'm saying? Right, folks, it's been 2 days and I haven't been in here yet. I thought I'd wait for you. Right. This should look pretty cool. Oh, man. Oh, no. What has happened? It's leaked. It's leaked all over the floor. And it's separated itself from the sheet. Oh, no. Why has it done that? Look at it. It's all the way over there. Is it? It's not. It can't be set yet, though. Oh, it's tacky, which is kind of what I was thinking, but oh, this wasn't the plan. Oh, delays. This is why I can't get projects up on time, folks, because things go wrong all the time. Oh, dear. Right, folks, I've cleaned up that area as best I can. That's all I'm going to be able to do for the minute. I'll have to wait for that to set, and then, well, not really lot I'm going to be able to do with that, really, apart from grind it back, but there we go. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to turn out. It's obviously not quite turned out the way I sort of planned it. But it's not quite ready yet anyway. I can't, it's too gooey. It's still a process of setting, so I reckon in another day, or maybe even 2, we'll come back to this and see if we can start to peel this off and see what we've got, because we may have something still pretty cool that we can use, although it all goes up there and it's getting quite thin up there, so I doubt we'll be able to use that. But we might be able to use that for something else, maybe. I'm thinking maybe more this kind of section. Let's zoom you out a bit. There we go. So I'm thinking more this section here, from like maybe up there around here, that we may be able to still use. Although obviously there's some big gaps in here. Now, the only explanation I can think of why that's happened is because the floor is not level, potentially, and all the creases in obviously this has not really helped the matter at all. So if I do this again, I'll lay down something like maybe these boards first and then try and get this laid down. I think it's a two-person job, to be fair, to try and get that to be laid on these polypropylene sheets. I think then we can stretch it over nicely. That's what I'd do. If this doesn't work, I might still be doing that. But I'm wondering whether or not, once this is finished and dried out and we try to pick this up, if it doesn't fall apart, We may just have some really cool kind of like gaps and holes in it. I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to see what we'll see, won't we? So here it is. It's not as big as I kind of really wanted. I mean, it's big, but it's not as big as we had down there on the floor. And I was right, because all these sheets weren't down properly. My fault. It's all broken into bits. So this is the biggest bit that I've managed to concoct. And it looks pretty cool. It's still pretty big. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I'm hoping that that is going to stay upright, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. So because it's not as big as we kind of were hoping, I've made a few little ones. So we got a little dinky one there, and I've strapped them down with some elastic bands to try and kind of keep a bit more of the shape. Because as I said to you before, this is really time sensitive, and if you don't get it quite right, then you know it's not going to mold properly, or it's just going to flop on the floor. So this is kind of just a little bit past when I should have done this, so it's sort of sticking up right, whereas it should mold down over. So I've had to manipulate a couple of them, but that's all right. It's still very bendy and flexy. I can move them around. I've no idea how these are going to turn out, but we shall certainly see in a couple more days. But this is the one that we want to pay more attention to. It's looking pretty cool, and I think that that should be a really nice piece when it's done.
I love it when a plan comes together.
I actually quite like the first one that we did. Look at that. Now that does look pretty cool, pretty unique. I love that. This one is absolutely solid now, and it's like, you know, you can't bend or manipulate that anymore. It's staying there. It's not moving. It's got all sorts of different colors in there, reds, purples, whites. Looks really nice. What I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna resin my emblem on the outside of this one. And I think that would just finish it off. It even works quite well as a hat. Let's keep it as a bowl, eh? What I'll probably do is I'll bring this one to Makers Central, so for those of you that are coming to the show, I'll have this on the Entropy resin stand so that you can pick it up and have a little fiddle. I just want to say thanks for all your patience. Thanks for watching my videos. I do appreciate you all. Thank you to all my members of this channel as well, my Patreons. You are absolutely amazing. I will be doing a live stream. I did say that last time, but I will be doing one really, really soon. So please look out for that one. I will announce it on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on there, please check me out on there, and I'll announce when I'm going to do the live stream on Instagram stories. Please do check out today's sponsor, Entropy Resins. It's a fantastic resin. It really works so well. I use it all the time in my workshop and in my videos. There is a link below for you to grab yourself some, and a cheeky little discount if you're a member. Right, that's all from me, folks. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for watching this one. And if you do like it, please give it a share and a thumbs up, of course. Much obliged.